The modern housing market is built on a foundation of necessary trust. Because few of us can afford to live alone, we sign leases and move into apartments with strangers, essentially betting our safety on the hope that a clean background check means a safe person. Every night we turn the deadbolt to keep the world out. We tell ourselves that as long as the door is locked, we are safe, ignoring the possibility that the danger isn't waiting in the hallway, but sitting on the other side of the living room wall. To understand how these domestic situations unravel, we can look at the home through three distinct layers: the shared space, personal space, and the most dangerous, the forbidden space. The first boundary to erode is often the shared space, communal kitchens and living rooms, where a roommate's behavior first deviates from the social norm. When the kitchen or the living room becomes a source of tension, the apartment stops being a home and starts being a cage. The victim is forced to retreat, ceding ground and moving deeper into the only private areas they have left. Ryan was a grad student in New York City who found a room in a shared apartment with a man named Kurt. Kurt was an eccentric whose lifestyle was entirely funded by his parents, leaving him with plenty of time to spend alone in the apartment. One afternoon, Ryan walked into the living room to find Kurt listening to audio recordings of a woman's police testimony regarding a violent carnal assault. When Ryan asked if it was real, Kurt simply smiled and nodded, never turning the volume down. The environment in the kitchen began to sour, literally. Ryan opened the fridge to find unlabeled jars filled with what looked like pickled organ meats. Kurt apologized, claiming they were merely models for an art project he was working on. At 4 a.m., Ryan woke to a smell he described as sour death. He found Kurt at the stove, actively frying those pickled organs in a pan. The resulting stench was so toxic, it made Kurt sick, leaving him to occupy the only bathroom for the next 48 hours. The situation ended when Ryan began finding pieces of raw meat tied with string and metal tags hanging from cabinet handles. Kurt had been hiding raw flesh in the crevices of the shared workspace, letting it rot until it attracted swarms of flies. These weren't just the quirks of a strange man. By polluting the shared air and communal surfaces, Kurt was effectively evicting Ryan from his own home, making the communal space so repulsive that isolation was the only choice left. Once the shared areas are lost, a tenant's last line of defense is the bedroom, the innermost sanctum where we expect total privacy. A 21-year-old woman, desperate to leave her parents' house, answered a Craigslist ad from a man named Jackson. He offered her free rent in exchange for acting as a live-in housekeeper, claiming he would be out of the house most of the day for work. The boundaries began to shift soon after she moved in. Jackson installed black cameras in the kitchen and living room, and after complaining that a meal was bland, he suggested she make it up to him by cleaning the house in her underwear. While she was out one day, a former tenant pulled her car over to deliver a warning. Jackson was lying. He didn't have a job, he never actually left the house, and he spent his days hiding in the shadows, watching her every move on the cameras. She returned to the house and searched her bedroom. High on a closet shelf, she found a tiny black lens peeking through a drilled hole. That night, her bedroom door slowly creaked open to reveal Jackson, standing silently in the dark, watching her sleep. Hidden surveillance transforms a personal sanctuary into a panopticon. When the walls of your bedroom have eyes, the concept of a private space is dead, and the victim is left entirely exposed to a predator's whims. Beyond the shared rooms and the bedroom lies the final, most dangerous geographic zone, the strictly off-limits, forbidden space. When a 19-year-old student moved in with Evan, a soft-spoken psychology professor, the rules were simple. He could use the house freely, but the basement was strictly off-limits for Evan's research materials. Despite Evan's polite demeanor, the house felt wrong. Evan cooked massive meals that he never finished. A pillowcase in the laundry was stained with blood, and at night, a soft, steady pounding vibrated through the floorboards from the basement below. While Evan was in the shower, the student unlocked the basement door. Down the wooden stairs, he found a thin, emaciated woman lying on a mattress next to an empty IV bag. On the wall was a photo of Evan with the same woman, his wife, Marissa, who had been reported dead 3 years prior. When a room is designated as forbidden, it isn't just a boundary of privacy. It is the physical barrier a person builds to separate their public life from a secret that cannot survive the light of day. As Evan realized the student was in the basement, he began pounding on the bedroom door. The student didn't wait. He locked the bathroom door, threw open the window, and scrambled out into the night to call 911. Evan was arrested and led away in handcuffs. Investigators discovered he had faked Marissa's death after she asked for a divorce, keeping her sedated and imprisoned in the basement for years to ensure she could never leave him. While Evan's secret was exposed, Jackson's threat didn't end when his tenant fled. Weeks after she snuck her belongings out and disappeared, she received notifications that someone from Jackson's town was trying to log into her old accounts. These stories remind us that the structural geometry of our homes is only as safe as the people we share it with. We can lock our doors and define our zones, but those walls provide no protection when the monster has a set of keys. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell to catch our new videos. For early access and bonus content, join us over on Patreon, or check out the Let's Read podcast for long-form compilations of these stories, wherever you listen to podcasts.